All right, good morning, guys. Welcome in. Welcome. How is everybody doing? Welcome. Stop playing around. Busy Bee is here. Busy Bee has everybody locked in. Stop playing around. Welcome, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. I have a new setup. I was placed on mute yesterday since the Discord. Was that you who did that? Habby, it definitely was not me, man. I don't know what you did, Habby, but I'll figure it out. We'll probably get that removed for you. That was absolutely not me, though. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Hope everybody had a nice Monday, a little nice Monday session. It was a little bit of a slow session yesterday, but there were some trades, there was some opportunity yesterday. There's some supply rejections came in, and that was really the theme of yesterday. The theme of yesterday was initial opening bell upside in the market, right? Just really insane lockout rally in the market. We pushed into a supply and then we failed, right? You just saw some failures, and you saw a very classic just reversion back the whole upside, right? Just big upside move, reverted the whole move back down to the downside. We reverted the entire upside move yesterday. So we're going to talk about it. We'll talk about the little bit of the trapped buyer scenario, right? Because that seems to be what's happening right now is a little bit of a trapped buyer scenario. So we are going to talk about that today's session. There's a little bit of a question of whether there is some more downside in store, right? Is there some more downside today? And what must we need to see for downside to come in, right? Under that 628, that's where downside comes in. We can talk about that 628 level. And then also we talk about 626, and obviously the major golden level is 625. We're going to go over ES's chart. We're going to talk about all levels on ES's chart. We'll talk about that major 63.56 from our Monday session, and we'll talk about the demand below 63.36. And then, of course, the golden pocket level, 63.10, which is our big level on ES's chart. So we have some big levels in SPY and ES today. A lot of it's similar to what we spoke about yesterday, but there's only one change, and we'll talk about that one change. But for the most part, it's very similar to our yesterday session. We'll go over the QQQ chart. Q's chart yesterday, also pretty clean. You guys saw a systemic upside move above, basically just a beautiful systematic upside trade above 564, big upside in the market. We then pulled back and gave up the whole upside move. So there is some discussion today about whether some more downside is potential today, and we'll talk about what needs to happen for that. On the QQQ chart, though, it is obviously stronger than the overall market, right? Qs obviously is the overall market, but I'm saying Qs are stronger than SPY today. It's something you were seeing a little bit on SPY this morning, right? SPY is obviously right at where Monday opened at, whereas QQQ is a little bit above that Monday open. So that's going to be a discussion today. We'll talk about that. We're also going to go over AMD downside, AMD in a beautiful low volume node. So we're going to talk about AMD 156. We're going to go over Nvidia, Nvidia 169 and 168. A little bit of a gap fill potential in Nvidia today. We're going to talk about Tesla. We're also going to go over the Apple chart, Apple 212, 213 level big today, and also Amazon. Amazon probably one of the top watches today's session. I wish I traded a little bit of Amazon yesterday. I took a little bit of Apple and SPY. Amazon was actually the better of the three, right? Amazon was the best of the three yesterday, and we are going to go over this chart as well. So welcome in, guys. Welcome. Notice something crazy. We have a new setup here. We have a new mic. So you guys are probably hearing it sound a little bit differently. It's a little bit of a new setup here. We also have the ticker showing on the top right. So you guys cannot complain that you don't know what ticker I'm talking about because of all these crazy technological advancements that we've seen overnight. So some big stuff. I hope you guys notice it. I don't know if anyone notices it, but anyway, I noticed it. So that's all that matters. So in terms of earnings reports for today's session. Today is July the 22nd. This morning we have LMT, we have KO. That's all we have today. Nothing really crazy for today's session. I mean, look, ready for this? I'm gonna do something crazy here too. Ready? Watch this. Ready? I can do this now. I can go over here and I can go bam. Oh wait, that did not work. That did not work as expected. We are not in business right now. Is it this one? How do I initiate the, oh man, I'm all over the place. You know what it is? I don't have the annotation tool up yet. So we'll get it later. Not important. I have an annotation tool, but it's obviously not functioning so well right now. So we'll get that ready for next session. Anyway, so LMT, KO, besides that, that's all we have for today's session. Now tomorrow, that's where things become more interesting. Tomorrow we have AT&T in the pre-market. We have Tesla in the after hours. We have Google in the after hours. We have IBM and we have Chipotle. So that's what we have for tomorrow's docket. Today, obviously, just mostly defense names, LMT, KO, a little bit of a Russell name, and that's what we have for today's session. Anyway, in terms of economic data, which is obviously more important than anything else, someone said you guys are making fun of me in the chat. I know you absolutely are. That was a little embarrassing. I thought I had the annotation tool ready, but it was not ready. So Jerome Powell is speaking at 8:30. That's what's on the docket for today's session. Just be careful of that. Obviously, Jerome Powell will probably cause some upside downside moves. Just be careful. More volatility today's session. Be careful in the market open as well. I don't know if I think he stopped speaking into market open. But if you do see him speaking into market open, just be careful of headlines today because we are at risk of headline news, right? Wednesday session tomorrow, we have existing home sales, routine data, 10 o'clock data, 1 o'clock bond auction. We will go over that as we cover tomorrow's session. Anyway, so today I want to just talk about charts today. I want to just go over everything there is to go over on the SPY, and then we'll sort of move into each of our tickers today. So on the SPY chart, yesterday's session was kind of interesting because early morning, it kind of caught everyone off guard, right? Market was maintaining demand, right? So you saw us maintain demand yesterday, 628 held, and there was no reason to go short here, right? The market just ripped and rallied above our Friday's highs. We broke above Friday's highs and the pre-market highs, and we spoke about this yesterday, about the upside potential above 629.5, and it's kind of what happened, but I just wasn't a part of it, right? I wasn't a part of it. I wasn't really looking for upside above highs or breakouts, and I think I kind of made that clear yesterday. I spoke about that idea that even though this would happen, even though this could potentially happen, I wouldn't really be involved in it, right? And that's really what happened yesterday. We just saw some upside in the market. We saw some upside in the market yesterday. We pushed into 631.50, and we saw some failures come in here at 631.5. But the idea yesterday is that we made a new all-time high, right? So on the S&P yesterday, this was a new all-time high. And there really were no big levels to watch out for, right? So as soon as we broke above that 629.5, that previous Friday high, the pre-market high, the previous all-time high, once we broke above it, it was kind of just price discovery mode, right? We saw some just upside and upside and upside and upside moves yesterday. Now the question was, where were we going to find some sort of resistance for downside to come in? And so yesterday I took puts, only once yesterday I took puts right here. I took puts right there and got a little bit of downside back into these lows. But the idea that the put play yesterday, it was really slow, right? You did see some supply rejections coming off the same level a few different times yesterday. A little triple top off supply, producing 631.5 as a new all-time high in the SPY. But it took all day for real downside to come in, and we saw us break down back under 630.5, and that's where real downside in the market sort of came in, right? Now today's session, what happened? What's going on now? So we see some supply rejections coming in yesterday off of our all-time highs, but we were back at the same spot that we opened at yesterday. That's all it is, right? So we've seen some upside yesterday. We reverted the whole move back down to our lows, and it's basically like Monday never happened. It's basically like we just woke up after a nice Sunday nap. It's Monday morning again, and we're back at it. That's what it is, right? Nothing is really different. Yes, there is some trapped buyer scenario yesterday. There is some trapped buyer scenario. Basically, that means anyone that was long yesterday in breakouts, today they're not going to be so happy seeing SPY back under 629.5. But it's still not like under pressure, right? This is not a bearish move by all means. By any means, this is not a bearish move. And trust me, I can say that because I took puts yesterday and I was bearish yesterday, right? I took puts yesterday, but even looking at this chart, I can tell you this chart is by no means bearish, right? We are simply just structuring higher. The market's structuring higher and the market's still maintaining demand. What must happen for us to see more downside in the market is we must see us back under 628. If we are back under 628, we can see some downside potential into 626. If we lose 626, we see downside potential into 625. 625 is our major bounce spot, our major golden pocket, major bounce spot area on the S&P. But today's session, we are still very much so bullish, right? Even though we see some trap buyer scenario yesterday, we are still very much so bullish until we get back under 628. If we lose 628, then downside comes in back at 626, then 625, and we can go long back at demand. But again, something that's very clear to me is that even though we are seeing a little bit of some downside slip in yesterday's session, it's not substantial until we are under at least 628. In which case, then we have some failures, some big failures here, some real trap buyer scenario, and that's where some real downside can come in the market. So again, if you're looking for puts today, I think the most logical spot is going to be under 628. Okay, if the market gets back under 629.5. Don't be surprised if you see this again happen today. Don't be like, oh my God, what's happening? Why is the market rallying higher? It's rallying higher because the market reclaimed 629.5. That's what it is, right? If you see the same thing happen again, that happened on Monday, today, don't be surprised, right? 629.5 breaks, big upside. 628 breaks, big downside. That's what it is today, right? And I shouldn't even say big downside, because if we lose 628, it's not like we're going into a systemic selling session. We're just going to go back into 626 and then maybe 625. And 625 would be the big bounce area. So again, even though I'm saying downside comes in under 628, it's not going to be crazy until now this would be crazy. The crazy downside move comes if we break 625. If this breaks, then I think all hell breaks loose and we see some real downward pressure. And the reason why is because this would trigger a lot of long stops. This is the colossal level on the S&P. Okay. Cozy. Thank you very much, Cozy. That is very nice of you. Very kind of you, Cozy. You are much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you very much. So moving on. Let's go over to the ES chart. On the ES chart yesterday, if you look sort of recapping yesterday's session, not that. We're not doing that. What are we doing here? Let's zoom in here. Zoom in the chart here for a second. If you zoom into yesterday's session, okay, you see yesterday's session, we saw some big upside moves above our previous all-time highs, above 63.56. Big upside, right? I shorted here. This is where I shorted yesterday. I shorted right there. I got a little bit of downside back in here. That was my day. That was it. That was really all I got yesterday on the ES SPY chart, right? Nothing crazy. Now we ended up losing this low again here, 63.36. 63.64, right? And that's where a real downside the market came in. But again, where are we back at? We are back at the same spot we opened at Monday morning. So nothing fundamentally is different from yesterday's session into today's session. It's almost like you could literally just come in today's session and remove yesterday's price action, right? It's the same thing. Let's just remove yesterday's price action. This is yesterday's price action. This is yesterday's open. And where are we at this morning? Bam, right here, same spot, right? Same spot, different time. Nothing's really changed. So if you're looking for upside today, what you're looking for is you're looking to see, can we get back above 63.56? If we do, that's where upside the market comes in back in highs. If we lose 63.36, that's where downside the market comes in, and we can go look for a downside move. Again, that's what I'm expecting today. You could look for the pop and fade today at the 6356, a little bit of a higher risk trade, but that would be also be an interesting spot for us to revert today. This would be nice if we see some failures come in here at 6356. So let's watch it today. And if you're kind of trying to equate that to SPY's chart, the equivalent of that would be, do we pop today and see a failure here at 629.5? If you fail here at 629.5, then we can see some downside the market come in. Okay, so that would be a nice trap buyer short, right? Basically just rejecting the market back at where those longs had their stops. Okay, so that would be the best possible short scenario, or this would be your short scenario as well, back under that demand zone. Okay, so that's really what we have today's session. Nothing is really crazy, right? It's just simply the same stuff as yesterday. Okay, on the QQQ chart, it's a little bit different, right? So on the Qs chart, we produced a level here at 566 yesterday. This is the new all-time highs on the QQQ chart. So new all-time highs here on the Qs, 566. Now today's session on the Qs, if you're looking for any upside today, you want to see us back above that Friday's highs. Now, interestingly enough, you're seeing QQQ opening right into 564 back into that Friday's highs. Today's session is going to be defined by whether or not we are above this level, in which case we can see upside in the market today, right? Above 564, back into all-time highs here, 566. Or if we start seeing some failures today here at 564, above really below that Friday's highs, in which case we can see a beautiful downside reversion play into 560. So again, these are the two scenarios that I think are presenting here on Qs. I don't think it's going to be a choppy day. I hope it's not a choppy day. I think we likely get some continuation in one direction, either back into 566, the previous all-time highs, or into our 560 level, which is our demand below our Friday's lows, right? So that's what I'm expecting today's session. Pretty similar to SPY, but you are seeing this is a bit stronger, right? On the QQQ chart, we opened around that 562, 561.50 area yesterday on the Qs. Now this morning we were opening around that's 564 area, right? So a little bit stronger here on tech. Now, why is tech stronger today? This is also going to be kind of a theme of today's session, right? Why is tech stronger than our SPY chart? And when we start going over our individual tickers today, we are going to get that sort of look at sort of that more granular look at what's moving the market. Okay. Moving on, NQ. On the NQ chart, NQ is just doing the same thing as Qs, right? The level this morning is, I'm gonna make an adjustment here. It's really 22,323, right? So it's basically the same spot. I just had it, right? So 22,322, this whole area over here, that's your little level here on the NQ chart. If we are above this demand zone, upside back into highs here, previous all-time highs, which is around 23,400. If we fail today back under 22,322, which is again the level from Friday's highs, then we move back into a pre-market low, 23,267. And if you lose 267, then we go back down into that 171 level. Okay, so that's what we have in the docket for today here in NQ. It's basically the same thing as QQQ chart, just a larger name. Okay. That being said, I think we are ready to move on. I want to dive into it. Let's talk about our individual names today. Let's talk about Apple. So Apple yesterday, we spoke about this probably for 30 seconds yesterday. We spent way too much time in indices yesterday. On Nvidia and AMD, and we sort of we did not spend as much time as we should have on Apple and Amazon. Now, here was the interesting thing about Apple yesterday. Apple was a beautiful long opportunity at lows. If you just got in at lows yesterday, as soon as it started maintaining 212 yesterday at 935, you had a fantastic day. Now, I promise you, probably some of you guys did this. This was the best possible trade yesterday, was longing Apple at 9:35 in the morning. I almost did too. I almost did, but I didn't. I waited for us to break out, pull back to my demand zone 213. I went long here at 213. I got a little bit of upside yesterday back into 213.7, and that was it. That was all I got. This was literally all I could get yesterday in Apple was a measly 70-cent move. Granted, I'm still happy with it, right? At the end of the day, if I'm blessed with something, right? Give me some level. Or if I can give me some level, 50 cents, 60 cents, 70 cents, whatever, I'll take it. If I get 12, 13% on it, fine, whatever. I'll still take the money and run with it. But it sucked that the stock did not move after that. And the reason why it didn't move was because 213 was the pre-market level. Sure, it was a nice little intraday level, but the big boy level is still 212, right? And this morning, you are seeing a reaction off the 212 level. You're seeing 212 hold as technical demand below. And this is what needed to happen yesterday, but it happened at 4:30. Now, the question today is, where can we trade Apple this morning? Apple, we need to, now at this point, Apple, if you're not already long Apple here at 212, okay, because Apple 212 is probably the best spot to long it, right? This is probably your best spot to long it, 212. If you're not long here already, and at this point, the only long spot I have now is going to be a break and hold above 215. If we see us clear 215 today, I can look for upside above 215. But until then, probably going to leave us in the back burner. Why would I leave it in the back burner? Because we are still under supply and supply and supply and supply. Okay, so yesterday's session, you saw some supply rejections come in. Now today's session, the only way I'm going to trade this is if we get back above my 215 supply. That's really what it is, right? It held 212 support, right? We should see this happen now. Break, pull back, retest, upside continuation trade. If this doesn't happen, there is no trade. So for me this morning, watching for longs above 215. Okay, moving on. I am now going to go over next ticker. We're going to go over Amazon. Did anybody trade Amazon yesterday? This was something I spoke about on live, But unfortunately, I did not trade this. I probably would have made a lot more money yesterday if I traded Amazon over 227. This was the best possible scenario here in Amazon. Look at what happened yesterday. We saw a beautiful upside, and this is just picture perfect, right? If you are a break and retest trader, what are you looking for? What are you waiting for as a break and retest trader, right? You see 227 as key level of resistance yesterday. And just look at this. This is what we spoke about yesterday. If you're looking to see how do we trade the levels that we talk about intraday. So pre-market, we speak every morning about this at 8:30 a.m. And you ask yourself, what do you do to determine if I go long or short at a level Brett's talking about? Well, nothing I'm saying is unique. Like everything I do is nothing that I say or do in these pre-markets is unique. I am not unique. The levels I do are not unique. Everything that happens between 8:30 and 9:05 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is not unique. We are just trading the same goddamn levels. If you look at this, everybody had 227. Everybody had 227 as resistance yesterday, right? Now, the key thing yesterday was everyone had this level. Now, what makes us go long at 227? Well, look at what happened yesterday on the 5-minute time frame. This, I think, was so critical. Look at the 5-minute time frame and look at the beautiful reactions that happened at the exact level we spoke yesterday about. You see a beautiful breakout and nice pin bars coming in at 227. This is the best case scenario. Beautiful little bull flag, whatever you want to call it, little consolidation above our supply zone, and then upside continuation all day. Now, granted, this is Amazon, right? We're not trading PLTR right now. We're not trading Robinhood. We're not trading Tesla. Okay, you're not gonna see big fat green candles sending you to the mountains, right? You're not gonna see that. But what you are gonna see is you're gonna see a little bit of choppy grind higher into your next level. That's what Amazon's known for. Now, this was a great trade yesterday, and if you caught this, you should be proud of yourself. That was the best case scenario. Okay, now, what can we do on Amazon today? On Amazon today, it is about one thing, and this is the only thing we can do today, is wait for the pullback long opportunity. If we can pull back to 227 today, that's what it is. It's just simply 227 to 227.5 for a bounce opportunity. That's all I have today here in Amazon. Somebody said, I know you can fix that screen. Is my screen working? Can you guys see my screen? Is everything looking good? Just making sure. And by the way, this setup is probably better, I assume, right? This is better. This is hopefully a better scenario. Hopefully everyone can see the top right. You can see Amazon, right? I think this is it looks hopefully better, but I need to get your feedback on it, right? Because if it's not perfect, we're going to fix it. Okay, awesome. All right, cool. It's good. So, moving on, right? Moving on. Obviously, Amazon. You know what I'm talking about here, right? Bounce opportunity, right? So at this point, now that the stock has broken highs, right? The stock has broken highs. I can promise you this. I know Amazon like I know the back of my hand, right? This is what must happen. This is going to happen, right? This is going to happen, right? I don't know if it's going to be today, but I think it's going to be at some point, probably either today's session or tomorrow or Friday. That's what it is, right? That's what this is going to happen. Now, will it bounce here to 227? I hope so, because I'll be there to long it, but I do know the pullback is what's going to happen at some point, okay? So that's Amazon. Tesla, on the Tesla chart, Tesla is a trap, right? Tesla is a mouse trap. And if you got caught trading Tesla yesterday, you got smacked, you got completely mouse trapped over highs, right? And I think that's just what happened, right? You saw a beautiful opening bell breakout, 5 minutes off the open, right? Oh my God, Tesla's going up. Tesla is ripping, right? Look at the 1 minute time frame yesterday on Tesla. I just think it's funny sometimes. Tesla is notorious for these false breakouts, right? Tesla on breakouts is like you just don't trust it, right? I'm going to give a very bad analogy about trusting. Let's not get there today, right? It's too early in the morning on this Tuesday. We're not going to give any stupid analogies today. But look at this chart. Imagine at 9:30 in the morning, okay? You say, oh my God, look at Tesla's breaking out above highs, right? Beautiful technical break. By every means, this is a nice breakout. And then you go next candle, right? Next candle comes in, bam, bam, bam. I mean, just, it's a mousetrap, right? Tesla was an absolute mousetrap. At this point now, what do? You just leave it alone, right? You look at the chart this morning and and it's a mousetrap, right? If we break back under 325, we can look for puts back at 320. If we clear back 331, then there is maybe some upside back into 335. That's it. That's all it is here in Tesla, right? A little bit of a trap opportunity yesterday. Today's session, let's look for longs above highs. If it does happen, you look for this to happen, right? But don't be long above 335 today. I think it's pretty clear, right? Be careful longing back above 335. As you know, there are traps there, okay? So again, not saying don't trade this. I shouldn't say don't trade this, because if it does clear 331, there is opportunity, right? And if it does lose 325, there is even more opportunity, right? But again, just be careful there at 335. That's where things become a bit tricky, okay? Nvidia. On the Nvidia chart. So Nvidia yesterday. Nvidia was a pullback, right? So you saw some pullbacks come in yesterday, and this was kind of expected. Remember yesterday we spoke about the pullback to demand being necessary, right? Now the question today is, where does Nvidia go now? Well, we held at a key level, okay? 169 was a big level, and we were holding it. Now, at this point, if we can lose 169, we have some downside potential, okay? My expectations are this at this point, okay? Scenario number one, we hold 171 and we maintain 171. If we do maintain 171, then I think we just do this today, right? Back at 175. That's scenario number one. Scenario number one is bullish if we reclaim 171, right? That's scenario number one. Scenario number two is we see us reject off 171 right now, which is big supply, okay? We get back under 169, which is our big support. We lose 169, we go back into 168. And the chances are, if we lose 169, if we lose 169 on this Nvidia chart, the chances of us seeing 168 are probably 95% chance. The reason why I say the chances of us seeing 168 if we lose 169 is because there is a gap fill here, right? There's no price action between 169 and 168. Therefore, if we lose that 169 level, we are moving to 168. That's just simply what should happen here. In theory, this should happen. So if you're looking for shorts today, watch the 171 for failures. If you see 171 fail, look for shorts under 169. If 169 fails, we go to 168. But don't be a bozo. Don't be an absolute bozo and hold your puts into 168, because that's a bozo move. This is the major demand below. 168 is still a critical demand below. Obviously, if we lose 168, then yes, okay, fine, re-enter, look for puts back into 160, right? But 168 is the most critical level today on NVIDIA's chart. If there's one level to have on your chart today, it's 168 NVIDIA, right? So again, if you're short NVIDIA, it's either off 171, it's under 169, but it's only into 168 key demand below, because that's where big demand is. That's the untested demand after gap fill. So be careful be careful shorting back into that critical demand zone, right? On the AMD chart, AMD is one of my top short watches today, okay? AMD is one of my top short watches today. The reason why is because it is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful low volume node here. Now, I don't trade off these I don't really trade with these volume profiles very often. But if you want to get an idea of what I mean by a low volume node, so if you encapsulate all this price action here on AMD, right? And you look to see what sort of, I just realized you guys can't really see this, right? It's hard to see this because it's hard to see it because it's cutting off my screen a bit. But you'll see if I draw it over here, you'll see it a bit better, right? This is the idea, okay? There is very little price action between 156 and 148, right? So if we do see us under 156 today, right, and we start maybe seeing a little bit of some of this type of action, right, a little bit of retest rejection failures, right, then we go short downside move, right? The reason why I'm saying this is because there's very low volume between 156 and 148. Therefore, if we lose 156, we should see a pullback to the next high volume node, which is around 148. Okay, that's the idea here on this AMD chart. SMH, where is that at? Here it is. 293 supply zone, 288 demand, 283 demand. So you big level 1, level 2, level 3. Okay. AVGO chart, AVGO 288. That's your level. Nothing here in AVGO. I really don't have anything here in AVGO, to be honest. TSM, on the TSM chart. Yesterday I said let's not forget TSM. Today, let's also not forget TSM. TSM earnings, big gap up after earnings and pull back to key demand today. I am interested to see what does TSM do here at this critical demand below. Now, granted, if we lose 238, then okay, this is a dead fish, right? This is a beach whale, and we move back to 226. But if we can hold this 238 today, this could be the best possible long spot in the market today's session, right? Again, I don't want to speak too. I don't want to sound too convicted yet, because I'm not convicted yet. But this again could be the best long opportunity today's session is if this chart holds 238, because again, this is a beautiful little bull flag, right? Bull flag, right back into the demand zone below. If we can hold 238, this should go back into 250. Okay, this could be a really nice opportunity today. Keep it on the back burner intraday. Okay. Not just intraday, but also into tomorrow's session. This could be nice. Let's watch and see what happens here to 238, right? Moving on. Let's go over Hood. Let's go over some other names today. Hood 102. That's the big level here in Hood, and you're seeing it retest right now. Hood 102 is your bull spot. If you're holding 102, we are bullish. Simply just like that, okay? PLTR. On the PLTR chart, PLTR 155 is your big level of supply. You have a big level of demand below where it is, let me see, where's the next level of demand here in PLTR? I'm just charting this live with you guys. 144 is your next level of demand. We have 144 as demand here on PLTR. Under 144, we have 125. That's what it is. These are my big levels here in PLTR. You have 135 as well. So that's all I have here. 144, 135, and 125 here on the PLTR chart. But again, some little failures coming in now at 155. Where does it move to next? Probably 144. That's the next big level. Okay. IWM is guys, the ticker is there. It's in the top right. So you guys are seeing every ticker I'm going over is in the top right of your screen. So you may not see it on the top left like you usually do. I have it in the top right, which makes no sense. It makes no sense. I will move it to the top left tomorrow. Okay. Again, IWM 215 is your level, 230 is your next big level. So that's what I have here in IWM, right? Nothing really crazy here. Big supply above, big demand below. I'm not going to touch this in between these levels. Meta, yes, Joshua. By the way, thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Joshua. You're much appreciated. Joshua, you bought me this. You and Fancy and many other people who donated also bought me this little this new microphone thing. So much appreciated. On the Meta chart. On the Meta chart, the level to watch out for on Meta is, so yesterday 705 maintained, okay? 705 moved to 715. Now we have a beautiful bull structure here, right? This is a beautiful bull structure on Meta. The question is, does this lead to anything? Okay, do we see any continuation here? Now the continuation that I'd want to see, what would confirm continuation for me is if we got back above this level. Okay, if we got back above these highs right now, which is around 717. So I'll make a little bit of adjustment here. 717, really. 717 upside. If we can clear 717, that's Joshua, thank you, man. Rebuild the fund. That's going back to you guys anyway, but much appreciated. Yes, I am trying to improve the quality of the stream, making things better, because that's what I like to do, right? If we can improve in certain ways, we'll do it, right? Because again, this is I think a lot of you guys like these pre-markets because it gets you guys ready. Even I have people who've been trading for like 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and they're on these pre-markets every morning with me. Because I think it's even if you don't trade everything I say, right? It just gets you ready, right? It gets you in the zone. It gets all your levels right. And I think most times my levels probably match your levels too, right? Everything that's what I'm saying. I do these pre-markets not to be unique, right? This is just simply everything that I do and talk about is probably the same stuff you have in your charts. Nothing's really different, okay? And again, look at Meta, right? Meta's in a beautiful bull flag. If we can clear 717, we can see upside back at 725. Or yesterday was about 705 holding, 705 held. We said that goes to 715 in today's session. It needs to clear the bull flag. If we can clear 717, upside back into these highs, 725. Okay, so that's it, guys. I'm going to end it here. Thank you all for joining in. Much appreciated, everybody. Joshua, thank you, Joshua. Thank you to everybody else for all being here. You guys are all awesome and are all very appreciated. Live trading is in the description below. I saw some people asking about it in the description below. Fancy, thank you, Fancy. Fancy had a killer day yesterday. Shout out to Fancy as well. Always appreciate you, Fancy, as well. Keep killing it today. I hope you absolutely murder the market today. Guys, thank you for joining in with me, and I'll see you all for live trading. Bye, guys.